Morning, Arsene. Can we start with your team news ahead of tomorrow's game?
Look, we have no injuries, and Ramsey will be left behind, and Bellerin will integrate the squad again. So overall, Mertesacker is still maybe a bit short. I have to decide that today.
And with Mertesacker, that's just an illness, is it?
Yes, it was an illness, yes.
And just finally from me, it's Chelsea on Saturday, of course. What sort of pattern are you expecting the game to follow?
What you expect from this kind of games is always a high intensity, full commitment, and of course you want to prepare for that and play with a full focus.
What are your thoughts looking back at the midweek game now? You've had a couple of days to analyse the match and your selections.
Look, overall the numbers were quite good for us as long as we were 11 against 11, and even 10 against 11 we had some chances, but of course it was more difficult. We have and I stand up for my selection and take responsibility for it, and but I believe we can repair what happened, and we are on a good run in the Premiership, and it's important now to look at that.
Does it have an impact though ahead of a big game, a midweek defeat, particularly away from home?
Look, it's easier to lose away from home than at home. So I believe every defeat hurts, but every defeat is as well an opportunity to respond in a very strong way. I believe that usually the competitions, different competitions have not too much link on that front.
Is it strange to be going into a game against a Chelsea side that have lost 3 of their last 4 in the Premier League? It's not very common, is it?
No, but it can happen.
And when it comes to your record against Jose Mourinho, was it pleasing for you to get that win in the Community Shield?
Look, for me especially, what is important is that Arsenal wins the games, and that it can sometimes be a block, a mental block for the players or a team when they do not manage to win a team. So on that front it was good to win, yes, of course.
Just one more on the Champions League, coefficient points. Italy are kind of closing in now on England. How damaging could it be for the Premier League if only 3 teams got into the Champions League instead of 4, which is a possibility?
It is a possibility that we will have to repair in the coming months, and I believe that it's not only the Champions League teams who are involved in that, the Europa League teams as well, because we suffer recently from the Europa League teams not having taken the competition seriously as well.
Arsene, when you look at the table, you know, it's amazing to think that the champions are 17th, that they've lost so many games so far, they've conceded so many goals. Do you see this as an opportunity to beat them?
Look, for us it's a big game, even if, let's not forget, it's the start of the season, and there's only 5 games played, and but for us it's a big game, and we know our position at the end of the season will depend on how well we do in the big game. After, I do not consider too much where Chelsea stands at the moment, but I focus more on us performing well with full power tomorrow morning.
And you don't think that by resting so many players in Croatia, by losing, that you've given Chelsea some initiative back? No,
you know, in football you have to forget always cheap excuses and focus on what matters really. On the day is the performance of the day, and if you want to make a career at the club without any disappointment or any individual disappointment, that's not possible. Your career is decided by how well you perform on the day that you have to perform, and that's what matters tomorrow.
Are Chelsea in decline?
I don't know. I leave that to the specialists, and I take care of my team and of my own problems.
You come back early in the morning from Croatia, they've had a bit more of a rest, you've got this lunchtime start. Does that give them a bit of an extra edge?
I don't use that as an excuse, you know. I knew before the game at Zagreb that time would be short, and I took the decisions a little bit linked with that. I believe that we are in a position where we can perform tomorrow.
What about this Giroud-Walcott conundrum? When you look at the way Chelsea have been conceding goals, what do you think about the striking role?
Look, at the moment, I must say that's a decision I have still to make for tomorrow morning, and I try always to use the best solution that gives us the most efficiency offensively.
And the news on Jack wasn't great. Is there anything more you can say about his possible return?
That he will have surgery next week, and it's a big problem, but on short term only, because it doesn't damage his future.
In terms of, you said you were going to make a decision tomorrow morning about Walcott or Giroud to lead the attack. Walcott's scored 11 goals in his last 11 starts. That's quite a persuasive case.
Yes, but every game is different, and that's why I don't deny at all the quality of Walcott. I'm very happy that he scored so many goals in so many starts, and at the moment he shows as well when he comes on he can score as well, what he did in Zagreb.
With Petr Cech in goal, you've got a bit of a mole in the camp now, somebody who knows Chelsea very well. These big games are played on the margins. Do you think he's going to be able to give you a little bit of extra insight?
A little bit of extra, yes, but there is no big secret other than on the day perform all at your best and perform together. Our solidarity, our individual performances will be more important than what he knows. There's no massive secret in that.
The news from FIFA overnight, do you despair about the state that the world's governing body is in?
I'm first surprised, and I can't believe that, that at the moment nothing is proven, and I think that's accusations from one individual human being, and you let the justice work. I cannot believe that the General Secretary of the FIFA sold tickets for his own profit. I don't believe that, and I hope my belief is right.
And in terms of the big game tomorrow, do you feel that your players, Mikel Arteta was talking about, we're upset after Wednesday night, we have to react. Have you seen a steeliness from them since they've come back? Do you sense that they are in the right frame of mind?
They are. These players have a good mentality, strong mentality, good attitude, and they want to put things right, of course. But it's a different competition. I believe we are just on the back of away win at Newcastle. We have won at home against Stoke, so let's continue our strong run.
Arsene, what have you made of Chelsea so far generally, and maybe specifically, do you think defensively they're weaker than they have been for the last couple of seasons?
I don't know, it's too early to say. They changed a bit their defence now as well. I wouldn't go too early. I think it's far too early to judge Chelsea at the moment. What I want to do is, for us, is to do well tomorrow, because for me to play against Chelsea is a big game.
Given Chelsea's start to the Premier League season, do you think for a change Jose's under more pressure than you going into this fixture?
There again, these are situations that are very difficult to assess. You have always periods where it goes well, where it goes a bit less well. We are used to deal with that. It's less enjoyable when it goes well, of course, but I think every manager who stays a long time in a game has to deal with situations like that.
And just finally from me, after the Community Shield, lots of attention on you and Jose. Do you think too much attention is put on your relationship with him by the media?
Yes, because what is important, people, we have to be realistic. People come to watch football, and all the rest is a little bit secondary. What is important is the quality of what we will see tomorrow morning at 12:45, and you want people to focus on that.
That said, Arsene, this season Jose seems to have taken almost every opportunity he can to have a pop at you. Does it have any effect?
Look, you should ask him that question. I focus on what I love, is football, and I respect everybody and in my job, and focus on what I love, that's football. And all the rest, honestly, doesn't concern me too much.
Does it have any effect on you at all, what he says?
No, because I just told you what is important is football for me.
At the Community Shield, there was a lot made about the fact that you didn't shake hands with him.
Yes, I don't want to come back on that.
Do you plan to shake hands with him tomorrow?
I do not tell you more than I just told you.
Looking back on what happened last season in this game on the touchline, do you regret any of that at all?
I have nothing more to say about this situation.
Petr Cech goes back to his former club. Difficult for him emotionally, do you think, or he's got the experience, I guess, to handle it?
Look, it's always difficult to go back to your club and play, but I believe that fortunately he has handled that situation already this season. That's why I decided to play him as well in the Charity Shield, because I knew it's a first step that was important, and he has dealt very well with it.
You obviously beaten them in the Community Shield. What do you need to do at Stamford Bridge specifically to improve your record there?
To be well organised defensively and take every situation, every opportunity to attack and play our game.
Do you have a better relationship with Jersey when he wasn't managing in England, when he was over the European?
I have nothing, you know, special relationship is not my worry. What is my worry is that we perform tomorrow.
With we've seen some incidents this season. We've had Pellegrini and Pardew. Is it difficult sometimes when managers are in the heat of the moment and you're on the side of the pitch to restrain yourself, or do you have to sometimes say to yourself, "Come on, Arsene, just hold back and let the team get on with it"?
I advise you one thing: manage a team for a year, and you come back in the press conference and we talk about it.
I did. We won the University Cup. Yeah.
Did you fight with your opposite manager?
I got sent off several times. With the spotlight being on Chelsea, do you think that if things had been with Arsenal, because it always seems to be that with Arsenal, one defeat and everything is a crisis, one victory and Arsenal are able to go on and win the league. Do you think there's a fair balance there?
Look, there is certainly, as you say, a bit extreme emotions, but that is as well witnessing the fact that Arsenal is a very popular club, and so I would say that's quite a compliment for the club overall. We have to deal with that emotional extreme reactions, but we know as well that it's very difficult to go through a whole season without losing a game, although we are the only ones who have done it. So I think that's part of the importance of the club.
Do you expect what happened in your 1000th game, the way the game panned out with such a freak scoreline, do you think that's going to have any impact on the way the players approach the game perhaps to make them more cautious?
No, not at all. I think that's behind them since we have played so many games. I don't think that will play a part in it.
Last couple at the back.
Arsene, I'm from German television. Am I allowed to ask one question in German? Is that all right?
Jawohl.
Dankeschön. Wie wichtig ist Per Mertesacker für Sie und warum denken Sie, Per Mertesacker ist bei Ihnen und bei den Fans so respektiert in England?
Weil er große Klasse hat auf dem Feld und auch nach dem Spiel ist sehr viel Respekt, auch im Umkleideraum, weil er 100% sich 100% einsetzt und alles für die Mannschaft gibt und jeden Tag 100% mit 100% Einsatz arbeitet.
Ist das typisch deutsch oder typisch Mertesacker?
Ist typisch deutsch, aber immer und auch mehr typisch Mertesacker, noch mehr typisch Mertesacker.
La mienne sera en français, Arsène. Quel va être l'impact de la défaite de Zagreb sur ce match de Chelsea en sachant que vous avez que 2 jours et demi pour récupérer?
Justement, c'est une question à laquelle on doit répondre demain matin en montrant que ça n'a pas eu un impact, au contraire que ça nous a motivés encore plus. Je pense que on a du temps pour réparer les dégâts du match de la Ligue des Champions et que le match de demain est tellement important que ce résultat passera un peu au second plan.
Qu'est-ce qui a été différent lors du Community Shield pour que vous battiez enfin un Chelsea entraîné par José Mourinho?
Le fait, je pense qu'on a une meilleure stabilité défensive qu'il y a quelques temps et que l'équipe est un peu moins naïve.
Est-ce que vous avez parlé avec Petr Cech? Est-ce qu'il vous a donné quelques clés, peut-être des failles?
Il y a pas, évidemment que je parle avec Petr Cech, mais il n'y a pas de vrai secret autre que la performance du jour dans les grands matchs. Et ça, Petr Cech le sait. Et il n'y a personne qui a une clé pour gagner un match, un grand match. Ce sont souvent les grands joueurs d'ailleurs qui les gagnent. Donc espérons que sur un plan collectif et au niveau individuel, nos grands joueurs seront là.